Welcome to Famous Rewind. They once quietly upheld justice during the brutal years of World War II, but when the studio lights faded, where did the cast of FOYLE'S War go next? Some rose to the heights of their careers, while others faced loss and stepped quietly away from the spotlight. From the calm authority of Michael Kitchen to the unforgettable supporting roles, join Famous Rewind as we uncover their real journeys in 2025. Paul Milner emerges as the image of an ordinary person swept into the harsh vortex of war, where historical circumstances can crush small, fragile personal choices. Born on September 19, 1940, Anthony Howell took on this role at the age of 62, delivering a restrained performance marked by anxious eyes, a measured voice, and cautious, deliberate reactions. Milner is neither a hero nor a villain, but a victim of his times. The character helps the story retain a strong sense of human depth. At 84, Howell continues to enjoy a resilient artistic career, respected for his contributions to British theatre and television. Andrew Foyle grows up in the shadow of his father's overwhelming moral authority, where every personal choice is measured against a standard that is almost impossible to surpass. Born on February 11, 1976, Julian Ovenden took on this role at the age of 26, presenting the image of an intelligent yet impulsive young man, constantly torn between the desire for self-assertion and the constraints of family expectations. His restrained performance, hesitant gaze, and emotionally unsteady rhythm convey a sense of maturity still in progress. Now 49 years old, Ovenden continues to enjoy a vibrant artistic career, widely praised for his work across theatre, television, and musical performances. Adam Wainwright appears as the image of a young soldier entering war with untested idealism and youthful enthusiasm. Born on February 18, 1977, Daniel Woman took on this role at the age of 25, bringing a serious demeanor, a resolute gaze, and the confidence characteristic of a generation that still viewed war through an idealistic lens. It is precisely this innocence that gradually renders the character vulnerable when confronted with harsh reality. Now 48 years old, Daniel Wayman continues to enjoy a sustained acting career, recognized for his many psychologically rich roles in British theatre and television. Christopher Foyle stands firm as an unshakable moral axis, amid a wartime Britain steeped in compromise and moral ambiguity. Born on October 31, 1948, Michael Kitchen took on this role at the age of 54. Choosing an almost entirely restrained acting style, a low, steady voice, a controlled gaze, and slow yet invariably precise reactions. Foyle conducts his investigation not through action or displays of intellectual bravado, but through integrity and steadfastness in the face of institutional pressure. The character establishes a rare model of the non-action detective in British television. Now 76 years old, Michael Kitchen continues to enjoy a durable artistic career, valued for his work in theatre and television. Arthur Valentine appears as a man quick to adapt to a time of upheaval, where personal gain gradually eclipses all moral standards. Born on February 18, 1963, Tim McMullen took on this role at the age of 39, employing a flexible performance marked by alert eyes, a smooth voice, and a deft, accommodating manner to portray a quiet moral slide. Valentine requires neither violence nor great power, instead manipulating circumstances through cold pragmatism. The character provides the necessary shades of grey in the portrayal of a wartime society. Now 62 years old, McMullen continues to enjoy a rich acting career, highly regarded for his diverse roles across British theatre and television. Sir Alec Meyerson embodies the wartime elite, where political power operates through a blend of confidence and intertwined self-interest. Born on February 6, 1958, Rupert Van Sittart took on this role at the age of 44, making full use of his imposing stature, firm voice, and composed demeanor to convey a sense of authority that feels almost inherent. Without the need for raised commands, his mere presence suggests class distance and behind-the-scenes maneuvering. Through Meyerson, the political landscape of a nation in crisis is revealed in all its characteristic moral ambiguity. Now 67 years old, Van Sittart continues to enjoy a vigorous acting career on British stage and television. Glenvil Harris evokes the image of a mid-level official operating within a cumbersome administrative machine, where inertia is masked by procedure and the comfort of routine. Born on December 12, 1960, Jeremy Swift took on this role at the age of 42, conveying a familiar hesitancy through a polite tone, an evasive gaze, and a manner that constantly seeks the middle ground. Harris does not cause tragedy outright, but his very reluctance serves to delay justice. The role adds an everyday human slice to the portrayal of wartime power structures. Now 64, Swift continues to enjoy a durable acting career, recognized for his sharp supporting performances across British theatre and television. Rex Talbot emerges as the image of a young officer driven by clear personal ambition, where military discipline runs parallel with the desire for advancement. Born on June 17, 1973, Mark Umbers took on this role at the age of 29, using a neat, formal bearing, a sharp gaze, and a confidence that borders on impatience to convey a sense of eagerness not yet tempered by experience. Talbot is by no means lacking in ability, but his haste ensures that every decision is tinged with calculation. Now 51, Umbers continues to enjoy a steady acting career, recognized for his work in historical roles and on the British stage. Lawrence Gascoigne evokes the portrait of an intellectual closely aligned with economic power, where knowledge is inseparable from influence and self-interest. Born on August 12, 1939, Oliver Ford Davis took on this role at the age of 63, opting for a measured portrayal marked by a slow, deliberate voice, a thoughtful gaze, and a composed demeanor. His cultivated elegance conceals discreet calculations, creating an elusive sense of moral ambiguity. Through Gascoigne, the wartime setting is revealed as a landscape shaped by subtle compromises. Now 85, Davis continues to enjoy a long and resilient artistic career, widely acclaimed for his profound intellectual roles on the British stage and screen. Elizabeth Addis appears as a slice of wartime homefront life, where women bear the silent losses beyond the battlefield. Born on March 19, 1958, Hermione Gulliford took on this role at the age of 44, bringing a sense of quiet composure through a gentle voice, a reserved gaze, and a patient demeanor. Addis does not occupy the center of the narrative, yet her presence deepens the social texture behind the story's larger decisions. Now 67, Gulliford continues to enjoy a steady acting career, valued for her work in British television and theatre. ACC Rose appears as a figure of cautious administrative authority, where every decision is weighed to minimize risk rather than to pursue justice to its absolute end. Born on July 16, 1939, Corinne Redgrave took on this role at the age of 63, bringing a calm demeanor, a low, measured voice, and a gaze that consistently maintains a safe distance. Rose avoids direct confrontation, instead choosing the stability of the system during sensitive moments. This approach underscores the limitations of administrative power in wartime. Corinne Redgrave passed away on April 6, 2010, after a battle with cancer at the age of 70, leaving a profound legacy in British theatre and television. Thomas Kremer stands on the margins of wartime society, where immigrant status causes every gesture to be scrutinized with quiet suspicion. Born on April 30, 1945, David Horowitz took on this role at the age of 56, opting for a restrained portrayal marked by a low voice, a guarded gaze, and a measured pace of reaction. His silence and restraint create a sense of constant self-protection within an environment that is never fully trusting. Now 80, Horowitz continues to enjoy a durable acting career, respected for his deeply nuanced roles in British theatre and television. Hugh Reid opens up the world of wartime journalism and public opinion, where information serves both as a tool for illumination and a potential weapon for shaping narratives. Born on February 17, 1959, Michael Simpkins took on this role at the age of 43, bringing a sharp presence through brisk dialogue, a probing gaze, and flexibility in the way he frames questions. Reid is not loud or flamboyant, yet he exerts a constant, underlying pressure on the course of the investigation, suggesting the weight of the media during times of crisis. Now 66, Simpkins continues to enjoy a steady acting career, highly regarded for his intellectually driven roles on the British stage and television. Adam Wainwright in his early phase embodies a generation entering war before having fully formed a sense of self. Born on February 10, 1981, Max Brown took on this role at the age of 21, conveying youthfulness through a hesitant gaze, an unsteady bearing, and a sense of fragility in the face of military discipline. His brief appearance is nevertheless sufficient to evoke the cost paid by youth in times of upheaval. Now 44, Brown continues to enjoy a diverse acting career, known for numerous leading roles in British television and film. The Major appears as the image of a mid-ranking officer caught between orders and conscience, where military discipline collides directly with personal responsibility. Born on April 11, 1951, J. Benedict took on this role at the age of 52, bringing a stern demeanor, a deep voice, and a gaze that carefully weighs every decision. Without overt displays of authority, his presence creates a sense of quiet yet persistent tension. J. Benedict passed away on April 8, 2020, due to complications from COVID-19 at the age of 68, leaving a memorable mark through his portrayals of military and political figures on British television. Joe Forelli stands on the fragile boundary of loyalty, where immigrant status causes every action to be questioned in wartime. Born on June 19, 1973, Jonah Lawton took on this role at the age of 30, conveying an undercurrent of tension through a watchful gaze, a restrained voice, and a posture that is constantly ready to defend itself. Forelli does not openly resist. Instead, he exists in a state of having to prove himself again and again. Their very silence carries a distinctive weight. Now 51, Lawton continues to enjoy a resilient acting career, recognized for his psychologically rich roles across international television. Seaman Charles Howard carries the spirit of naval honor and the strict preservation of military standards amid the turbulence of wartime. Born on February 12, 1957, Rupert Fraser took on this role at the age of 45, projecting a calm demeanor, a firm voice, and a naturally disciplined bearing. Howard is not flexible when confronted with moral gray areas, yet it is precisely this rigidity that creates a sense of safety and order in an unstable world. Now 68, Fraser continues to enjoy a steady acting career, valued for his work in historical roles and British television. Hilda Pierce emerges as a cool, authoritative female presence within the wartime security apparatus, where pragmatism consistently accompanies difficult moral choices. Born on November 28, 1955, Ellie Headington took on this role at the age of 46, using a measured delivery, a sharp gaze, and a controlled demeanor to convey decisiveness without ostentation. Pierce is not cruel, but she is willing to accept moral gray areas in pursuit of a greater objective. Now 69, Headington continues to enjoy a durable artistic career, widely praised for her profound performances on the British stage and television. Sergeant Brooke appears as the image of a rank-and-file police officer operating within a system of discipline, where orders are carried out more often than they are questioned. Born in 1970, Jay Simpson took on this role at around the age of 32, bringing a serious demeanor, concise dialogue, and an attitude of absolute compliance. Brooke has little room for major moral conflict, yet his very obedience reveals how the machinery of order is maintained in wartime. Now 55, Simpson continues to enjoy a steady acting career, recognized for his solid supporting roles on British television. Sergeant Rivers appears as a purely functional cog within the law enforcement machinery, where duty is placed above personal judgment. In his 40s, when he took on the role, Jeffrey Freshwater brought a calm demeanor, a dry delivery, and strictly procedural behavior, creating a sense of stability that is nonetheless emotionally cold. Rivers does not seek to define justice. He ensures that order is maintained within prescribed boundaries. This quiet presence helps clarify the operational nature of the system in wartime. Jeffrey Freshwater has continued to be recognized for his reliable supporting roles on British television, where discipline remains the foundation of his performances. Samantha Stewart presents the image of a young woman entering wartime with innocence, gradually maturing through unavoidable losses and emotional trials. Born on August 1, 1979, Honeysuckle Weeks took on this role at the age of 23, bringing fresh energy through an open gaze, a clear voice, and emotions still unguarded. Beginning as a secretary, Samantha learns to stand firm in the face of responsibility and difficult choices, not through dramatic outbursts, but through quiet resilience. Now 45 Weeks continues to enjoy a stable acting career, highly regarded for her work in British television and theatre. War may have faded into the past, but the legacy of FOYLE'S War lives on through every performance and the stories behind the spotlight. Some have left us, others continue to contribute quietly, but all have left an unforgettable mark on television history. Thank you for joining us on Famous Rewind. If you enjoyed these journeys, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe so we can continue revisiting the legends who shaped our memories.